Alright, I've almost finished. Just this last little bit. Now, I've quite a few members have mentioned to me that it's difficult to get rid of these lines. Well, as you can see, I never have a problem, but then I've had a lot of experience. The key to it is to make sure that what you put in there, you notice I put quite a lot of grey in there. This is a colour that blends real. So putting those colours in really does help. Now, another thing that I'm doing here is I'm just fluffing the edge of that up. I'm not sure whether I'm going to leave it like that. If you look all the way along, it's got the same thing, or whether I'm going to add more to it, but just in case that looks really good when we finish the picture off, the foreground and so on, it might be worth leaving that. Anyway, nearly there. Anyway, yes, talking about the tooth. Now we know that, okay, you can still see some of the tooth coming through here, but all the tooth is filled with pastel by doing it the way we do it. But when we come to put the top coats on, we'll have all of that covered. It's worth going back over some of the videos to see how I did all this. But as you can see, if you look at that, there's not a lot of tooth showing, but the tooth is so important to the effects that we can create with the pastel pencil. I wouldn't have it any other way. The reverse side of this, of course, is smoothish. So if you really didn't like the tooth, you could use that. I don't think it's as effective as the tooth, but there you go. It's always up to the individual. Now that looks really good. Quick blow, and that really is smashing. What we've got to do now is put some detail in. So we come back with another selection of colours. I've got the 170 here. I probably won't use that at the moment. I think probably it'll be the 168. And we can start the ball rolling by putting in what we've got to think about. Let me just do one little section to show you. In fact, I'll come close up so you can see this better. Now, this is 168. Now, the way I've thought this out is that there is a dip on the other side of this field. There's a dip, and there's a fence which keeps the animals in. So what we're looking at is a flat on, not very far away, and suddenly there's a dip down. Well, that's how I'm thinking of it. Which means that all my strokes from this far away are going to be like that. And as I come forward, they get more or they get longer, shall I say. Now I'm nearly level here with the foot. By the time I get to that, I should be looking at grass like that. Now that's not going to show up terribly well like that, but it will do if we have other colours like that and that. See, got the idea? So that's what I'm aiming to do once I get down to there, but I've got to reach there yet. And the other thing is we don't want to make this all the same tone, so interspersed in here will be 182. Where's me? 167. It's a good idea to put a bit of 167 in. Now 167 is a rich green. You can see how that's coming along like that, and even just maybe a touch of that ochre, which I liked very much because it's a field, so it's going to have lots and lots of different colours and tones in it. Right, and the other thing we could use is a colour like 169. Now 169 is a rich greyish mauvey colour, but you don't want too much of it, but a little bit here and there would look good. Do I blend that? Yes, I do. And what I use here, I wouldn't necessarily blend too much in the foreground, but certainly this far back. Now, you could use the grey colour shaper, but better than that really is, if I can find it, yes I can, the pointer colour shaper. Let me show you how you can use that. Do a little bit and then use this. And that does the same job. It pushes the colour into the paper. You still get the texture, but it looks just a little smoother. Got it? And now that looks nice then. I like that at the background. I think that looks really good. We can put a little bit of colour in it as well. I'd suggest white. Grey wouldn't show up, so but just a little bit of white in there, just here and there. Now, if you like that, which I do, we can bring that forward. So what I'll do is I'll bring that forward now to the next level. In other words, now we're going to start getting a little bit further down. I'll only do this section here. It's always a wise idea to do what I'm doing, because you see how it all pans out, and if you don't like what you see, well, then you can change it. But if you do the whole thing, you can't. Now here we're getting to the, as I said, to that level of, or height of grass. Okay. Okay, now a little bit of 169 in there as well. But, oh dear, 167, all these numbers. And you see that my thoughts now are longer grass. And also colour, more colours going in. Now, I won't continue all the way along because it's very boring to watch me do this, all of it, but when we get to here, we can then start thinking about the stronger colours like the 174, which would look good in here. And I'll just do this little bit here. And then, exactly the same idea. Oh, I had 169, didn't I? When we get level with this foot, I'm going to put some of this in taller. You're not, I am. I think it's going to look great if I do that. Now let's carry on with that. Now, got the idea? A little bit of white in there. And another colour we can use, which I haven't used, I introduced it here, but I'm going to introduce it again, which is the 104. Here it is, 104. Don't necessarily think it needs to go very far back there, just maybe from this point onwards. It's a little bit of a, there we are. And that's what I'm going to be doing all the way along there.